right, so transitional terms are pretty commonly tested across across all tests. The SAT tests these probably more than anything. But these look like really simple grammar questions, right? Because they're short and they're only a couple words long, right? And you have this no change option, but they are really more reading comp questions, right? To know what word I need to use here, again, all these are actually grammatically correct. It's a word and a comma, so the grammar isn't different, but we need to summarize the sentence before, right? And then the sentence after to ourselves and kind of figure out what we would use to connect them, right? So when I say summarize the sentence to yourself, again, kind of focus on like the subject and the verb to get the gist of what's happening, right? So the sentence before is recent years have witnessed some substantial cutbacks in education spending, right? So it's like, oh, there have been cutbacks in education spending, right? And then spending fell by 2/3, right? So this is like giving you specifically what the spending is falling by. So it's like, oh, there are like decreases in money for education, right? And then more specifically, like how much money, right? How much spending has decreased by, right? So we wouldn't say therefore, right? Spending didn't fall by 2/3 because there have been cutbacks in education, right? So it's not like literally A then B, right? The first sentence didn't lead to the second part, right? So A would be gone and B would be gone for the same reason. So that's another thing you can do when you see these. If you see things that are literally direct synonyms of one another, immediately just get rid of both of them, right? Now, we wouldn't want to use however because however would be like even though A, B exists, right? Or B happened, right? So like C is kind of like reversing the logic of it, but they agree with one another, right? It's like there's decrease in education funding, right? And then it specifically tells you how much that money has decreased by. So I'd get rid of C, right? And then we'd be left with indeed. And indeed is something that just kind of like, it's kind of the same thing as like specifically or kind of like furthers a point that you made before. It's not like therefore or as a result, which literally implies, it doesn't imply causation, A to B, but it just expounds upon the fact or the sentence before. So answer choice D.